Greetings and salutations. Unfortunately for you, I'm back with another video. This is kind of an off the cuff. You're going to get unfiltered thoughts from me on this one. This is based off of a discussion I've had with Steve Fugit. We were just talking about this a little bit ago. Really, really, really want to get this out there because I do believe it's important. And this is to my more creative brothers and sisters out there that are making their Kickstarters, making their own rule sets. So if you're one of those, please stick around because I do feel like this is important. So it is going to sound a little ranty. So the first product I'm going to show you is White Box Fantastic Medieval Adventure game by Charlie Mason. It is essentially the revision of Matt Finch's Swords and Wizardry White Box rules. Uh, this is a lot of people's OD&D clone to go to in the OSR. This is what you're dealing with page layout and art and stuff like that. Very easy. It's barely over 100 pages. Yeah, it's about like roughly 150. It doesn't quite lay flat, it being a paperback, but like point being, like you could do this, you could easily one hand it, no big deal. You could kind of, here's how I typically do my paperbacks, like do that and just, point being, this is an easy digest sized book to deal with. This is one of the good ones. The next retro clone I want to look at is Labyrinth Lord by Dan Proctor. This is an OG in the OSR. This is specifically the hardcover edition. So the cool part is that this thing, you put it open, lays flat. Now, obviously, like towards the beginning of the book, it struggles a little bit, but they're all going to kind of do that anyway. But for the most part, like if you're trying to look up a rule set, you can literally lay on the table. And this thing barely clocks in at a little bit over 100 pages. I think it's like 150 in it. No, it's like 132 with the known lands in the back map, and then the index begins. So there's that. Alright, so the next hardcover book I want to take a look at is the Rule Cyclopedia of Dungeons and Dragons. This is the compilation by Aaron Alston of the Basic Expert, Companion, and Master's Rules, essentially compiled into one volume, released in 1991. This is basically Mincer's rule sets, and it does have little issues staying open at the beginning, but it's not so horrible. And as you turn, you can see, I don't have to manipulate the book quite as much, even almost all the way to the end, where you're going to find the treasure sections and the maps and game conversions for second edition and stuff like that. So for the most part, it does its job. This one is a bit heftier. This is 300 pages. So for what it is, I'm not expecting it to stay open at all points, but it is not so cumbersome to deal with. The next one I want to talk about is one that I made myself, which is literally this is Moldvay Martian Cook's rules for basic and expert, released in 1981. I compiled them all into one binder. Obviously, with the page protectors, everything's going to be everything's obviously going to lay flat. It's a binder, and so with this being both rule sets put together, this is going to be a little bit over 120 pages, give or take. So I think Expert had 64. And there were certain ones I cut out of each section. If it was just publishing information, I didn't even put it in, so it's even less than that. But the point being, basically something that I homemade myself for not a lot of money. And it's a viable option for a lot of you. This is Old School Essentials, Classic Rules Tome. This is what I want to talk about. And no amount of breaking in has seemed to help this. It doesn't lay flat, doesn't stay open. You want to know why a lot of us don't buy your rule sets, your premium hardback rule sets, is because they do crap like this. So these are good rules. It's a good product, and you can get it in PDF and print your own copy. And that's why I would suggest, because this is unusable at the table. This is completely unusable. This, I don't know what it is. I cannot get this broken in. Yes, the stitching is fine, but you're also, I blame a combination of it being like laid out the way it is, because yes, it is laid out nice, but it's also clearly like it's almost 300 pages, and it's so like, because everything has to have this really small aspect to it, and so you're cramming 300 pages worth of crap into something that's like this big and that thick, and the thing doesn't stay open at the table. That is useless. I can't use it. That's why a lot of us don't buy these products. That's why a lot of us don't support your Kickstarters. You want to know why? Because what you need to start with first is like a paperback copy. And if your rules are that cumbersome to be like 300-400 pages, well, then you probably need to figure out how to format your work a little bit better. Because the point being, if it doesn't stay open at the table, or if it's too cumbersome for me to use with one hand, it's useless. And now I know that there's going to be a few of you out there that say, well, you should have the rules remembered. Okay, look, I like to have something as a reference. I like to make sure that I'm making the right call. And generally speaking, I know where a lot of these rules I'm talking about are located. I just need to go over there, give myself a quick reminder, like, yeah, okay, that's how it is. There you go. This, like I said, Old School Essentials, really good product, really good rule set. It's essentially just cleaned up Mold Bay. It's a cleaned up version of this. I will use this every day over this, because this does not stay open. This is cumbersome. Everything is just crammed into this little tiny package. And you can't... Oh, it looks nice. It's got 2 ribbon markers, and the book doesn't stay open. That is useless to me. And that's a lot of what you guys are putting out. Putting out useless books that are not laid out good, that are crammed in like this, that are tiny, and they're compact. And for whatever reason, because I have tried my best to artificially break in the stitching of this book, I have beat it and pounded it and everything. This is a $60 book, and I'm punching it because I cannot get this thing to stay open. I mean, what do you want? I mean, you can't be mad at your customer base when you're not giving them products that is actually usable and applicable to their tables. If you cannot use it at a table, it is utterly useless. So, for those of you out there that are making your own rule sets, making your own products, please, by all means, do that. But don't go this route. This is, like I said, excellent product, excellent rules. It's pretty, but that's about the end of that. Because this, I cannot use this. I have forced this every which way. You see, I've got it open now, but everything's starting to kind of contract back in now. Because I cannot get this snake. I have had to physically punch this book to get it to stay that way on certain pages. And if I don't need that particular page, I have to do that every section. That, I mean, it's one thing, like, I don't mind having to break in a product every now and then, but when I have to actually punch a book, that's a little rough. That's a little stupid. So, you want to make a product people are going to buy, make something that they're going to use at the table. All right? So, plus, it's like I said, this is like one of the pricier options in the OSR circles. And you got me punching it. So, like, you got me punching this expensive, nice-looking book. I kind of feel like I wasted my money on it, honestly. I really do. I kind of wish I hadn't bought it, but it is what it is. Because it just gathers dust. So if you want to make something that people are going to use and buy, actually make something that they can use at the table. Don't make something that's just going to sit there in the corner and gather dust because you are insistent upon having a premium stitch-bound hardcover copy with ribbons and color, full color art and this, that, and everything else. But the thing doesn't stay up on the table. That is useless to me, and it's honestly useless to a lot of people out there. So I'm basically just doubling back off of what I've already said. As always, guys, take care. God bless. I'll see you on the other side.